Hello everyone, this is Viva Data from Publicis France. I am today with Jaspreet Sandhu and Jérémy Hernandez. So before we begin, let us just make a quick reminder of search index. It is one powerful business indicator because as people become curious about a brand, as they want to discover that brand, the best way to discover a brand is to use search. And search index is that one indicator that allows you to know how a brand is actually resonating in the community. So the more popular is becoming a brand, the more business behind is growing. So we have all the reasons to go find out what drives people to search for a particular brand or a product. We have all the reason to try to predict that KPI in order to play our cards accordingly. So the challenge was using all the data sets we had during this hackathon, that is display ads, Twitter, and sales, with a methodology of our choice to make a prediction of the search index. So to make that prediction, we couldn't find a crystal ball, but what we had was something better, machine learning. Most particularly, what we use is XGBoost. Simply put, XGBoost is a set of decision trees on steroids. Basically, the performance are incredible. It is impressively fast and significantly accurate. What we did during this hackathon, we tried to transform a time series into a supervised regression model. What does that mean? That means that we can gain a lot of time because we don't have to go to the hassle of performing a lot of statistical testing. This allowed us to gain a lot of time. It also means that it is cost efficient because it requires less financial and human resources to deploy our solution. This solution is very flexible. It means that you can put in any sort of data you want, and then you don't have to go from scratch if you have to change the KPI. You can literally adapt it to any KPI you want to optimize. Basically here, what we had to do is to predict search KPI, but we could have also predict Twitter or sales. It's as easy as turning a wheel. As a data scientist, I would strongly recommend this solution. That being said, let us look at the insights.
Now let's see the results. The model is able to predict search with a great accuracy. We have three most discriminant variables. Firstly, we have the most important is Twitter data. Then we have sales of brand, and we have online digital advertising.
So Jérémy, do you mean to say that online advertising is useless? Perhaps we should stop advertising completely. Well, the truth is that it is not exactly like that. Sales happen to be the second most important predictor. Why is that? Sales is a dependent variable. Sales depends on a complex interplay between social media, search, as well as digital ad spend. In fact, these three variables interact very interestingly with each other. As you can see in the second graphic, people, when they buy things, they talk about it. When people talk about it, other people listen to them. And when people hear them, they search for your product. And a lot of those people go ahead to buy the product further, and the cycle continues. How can you find out how to optimize and reinforce this circle? Well, this is what the model allows you to do. It allows you to find out how to increase the number of people going from each step to the next step, and thereby reinforcing the loop. The second point, which I would like to emphasize on, is how can you make Twitter more efficient in the circle? Well, some people are more influential on Twitter than others, so you want to make sure that you are finding the right people. Secondly, you want to give people incentives to talk about your product when they buy it. So when these people are going to talk about your product, this is going to create a stronger reinforcement. The second thing is search engine optimization. When people hear about your product, they go to search about your product and they use specific keywords. And you want to know what these keywords are. They may or may not be your brand name. They might be something completely different. So you want to make sure that you know what these keywords are. And this model allows you to split your search index by keywords and to know which keywords are most influential for you as a brand. It also allows you to do attribution, channel-wise attribution, and to figure out which channel is driving search, the social to search movement. Does it change with time? When people are on holidays, do they use mobile more to search for your product? Do people search for your product in supermarkets? These are all the things that the model allows you to effect. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritties. What is the best way to invest $1 million? Well, all of us might not have $1 million, I certainly don't, but let's say, how do you spend your ad spend? So you want to make sure, as we talked about before, that you do spend money effectively on social media and search engine optimization. How do you go to social media? Well, some mouths are bigger than others. You want to make sure, okay, so let's start with Pareto's principle. Pareto's principle is that 80% of word-of-mouth traffic is driven by 20% of the influencers. You want to know who these influencers are, why they like your brand, and how can you influence them, how can you collaborate with them to better drive traffic and interest in your brand. Some brands are nicer and more interactive than others. So almost 80% of brand-related conversations online are by people who want to know about what your product does and how you add value to the product. You want to be the brand that interacts with these customers. You want to know what these customers need, and you want to anticipate future needs. Next, search engine optimization. So some keywords are more relevant to your brand than others, and these keywords change with time. So you want to know which keywords are going to drive traffic or which keywords are going to be searched for at what time. And this is a model that allows you to find that out, as well as find out the keywords that resonate with your consumer. What's the end result? Reduced investments and increased ROI, just like that. We also have a dashboard that allows you to already do that. It allows you to predict, to look at the descriptive statistics of your current KPIs. It allows you to visualize how the predictions are going to change for the next 2 or 3 months. And it allows you to also figure out how you can further optimize your display spend, your sales, your search index optimization, and if your investments are working. So we made this model in 24 hours. So definitely there is much more that we could have done, indeed. We did not even take into account the text-level features of Twitter. So we can take semantic sentiments, and you can know exactly what people are talking about. Are they talking positively, negatively? Secondly, you can look at brands in new product space. You want to find out what's the market size, which kind of people need your product, what are they talking about? Well, this is certainly more interesting than boring 40-minute surveys. So this is exactly what our model offers you to add to it. And what you have is a real-time investment recommender that allows you to predict your consumer's next step before they know it themselves. Thank you very much.